Now we're going to get on to the first guest of the evening. We're very happy to have her back. She is the star of Family Law, which has now entered its second season. It's currently airing on Global and Stack TV in Canada and is coming to the CW on July 7th. Welcome back to the program, Jewel Staite.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good stuff. Excellent. So as I said, Family Law, it's back airing here in Canada.
Yes.
The last time we talked, which was back in October of 2021, season 1 was airing. You had just wrapped shooting season 2. And so, and so now season 2 is airing. People are finally getting to see it. Do you remember anything from your time from season 2?
You know, it's confusing because here's why. We shot season 3 between that happening and now. And season 3 is airing in certain parts of the world. It's starting to air there. So season 2 is airing somewhere else, and season 3 is airing here, and season 1 is airing somewhere else. So when I do interviews and I do press, people ask me questions, and I'm telling you now, I'm like, I don't know where we are. I don't know where we are in the storyline. I also don't want to give anything away. Like, I don't want to be that person. So I've got my little cheat sheet that I sometimes refer to just to stay with the plot because there's spoilers galore.
Well, there we go.
Makes me think of like the rock bands. You know, they used to always like write down the city they were in because they were always on tour and they didn't know.
Hello, Cleveland. Yeah,
exactly.
It's always funny that Cleveland is the go-to answer when you do that. I don't know.
Why is it?
It's like weird. A comedy rule. That's what it is.
Embedded in our brains for some reason.
Oh man, but yeah, well, our main listenership is in Canada and the States. For the other 13 countries that listen to us, there might be some spoilers. But anyway.
Yes, there might be. I'm sorry in advance. It is what it is. If only we could just air it all at once at the same time, that would have just helped my 41-year-old brain immensely. But
yeah, definitely would have helped you.
Totally.
But with this season 2, of course, at the start of it, of course, season 1, Frank was on Abby, kind of being very like, I am, righteous and you are wrong. And why don't you get over this whole alcoholism thing? And I'm a better parent than you. And now the shoe's on the other foot. Frank let his dinky travel somewhere where he shouldn't have.
Yeah, he did. It's funny because Luke Camilleri, who plays Frank, is the nicest human. And he hates that he's the villain now. He hates it. He's like, no, why did this have to happen? But, Frank does have this tone of this self-righteous kind of tone that he takes with Abby all the time. It's this now kind of attitude that he has with her that I find infuriating. And Abby just sort of takes, right? Like, she doesn't take it from anybody else in her life, but with Frank, I think she's just so desperate to get the kids back and get her life back that she takes it for far too long. And then once this, shoe drops and she finds out that maybe he's not so innocent, the tables have turned. And it really does give her an opportunity to stay in recovery for herself this time instead of for him, instead of for someone else, and B, evaluate her life, reevaluate what it is that makes her happy, which road she wants to take, and how she wants to be treated. So, she season 2 is her redemption season, I feel.
You just mentioned something there about like character, like an actor, not, like maybe not liking the fact that they're a villain. I'm just wondering, like for yourself, have you ever been in a role and you're just kind of like, there was a change as the show went on or something, and you were just like, oh, this is not what I signed up for originally?
I think so. I mean, I feel like it's always interesting when you find out where the writers are going to go with it, because we don't know. When you're doing television, you're very eagerly flipping through the script as soon as you get the script for the next episode to make sure you don't die. Right? You're like, you didn't kill me off here, did ya?
I'm not a reasonable concern. Yeah.
Am I in a coma? Did I upset someone behind the scenes? But yeah, so it's always a surprise. I have played some questionable characters that get more questionable as time goes on. I did this show called the LA Complex where I played this ruthless maniac who I love to play, but she just like fell off the rails. I mean, by the time we were finished that show, she was at the bottom of the barrel of her life, which I didn't know was going to happen, right? They really kind of went for it there. But I mean, I like playing messed up people. I think it's more fun personally. And you know, when people recognize you, they treat you a little differently. I always know what show people know me from based on how they approach me in a grocery store, you know? Like if it's like a Firefly fan, they're very, oh my God, oh, I love you. Can I have a hug? But I mean, they really like, they act like we know each other really well, which is fine. But you know, if it's something like LA Complex or even Family Law, it's just sort of like a trepidatious that comes with it. Like, hello, you know, like they're slightly afraid that I'm going to snap at them. It's fun. It's fun.
Ooh. Well, that's the thing. You talk about you like playing, you know, somebody's life is messed up. You know, Abby is pretty messed up half the time. Is learning is every time, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back sort of deal. Yeah. It seems like that's kind of the thing here. You're a put together person who's playing a very messed up person. Victor Garber is a really nice person who's playing an asshole. It's like now, of course, you got Luke here who's now also playing an asshole. It's
and Zach Smadu, who plays my brother, who's just this like, you know, contentious, bratty character, is the sweetest, most generous, most wonderful human. So yeah, we're all very different.
Gotta love that acting. You get to really explore the different side. Yeah.
It's fun. And you know, when we fight with each other on camera, it's really hard not to laugh half the time because we're great friends, and to see them, you know, be nasty or have to be nasty to each other is hilarious. It's just, you know, it's fun. It's a fun day at work.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a lot of fun in between in takes?
We laugh our heads off. Yeah. Our blooper reel, I mean, if they put everything in it, it would be an hour and a half long. There's
for every episode.
Yeah. It's I don't know what it is. We blame it on certain rooms, you know, certain sets. We're like, it's the set, it's cursed. I don't know. There's something about it that makes us really unprofessional. And the crew is just like, no one's laughing. You know, they're all just
like I just want to go home. Let's get this done.
I like to just leave. It's hot and, you know, let's move on. But we're laughing hysterically. You have to have fun. I'm very grateful that I work with people who are willing to have a good time. You know, everyone's very professional in that they know their lines and they're, you know, on time and all that stuff, which is all very important. But the most important thing of all is that you remember it's make believe, right? That's what we're doing. Yeah. We're lucky to be there. We're telling a fun story, and it's nice to work with like-minded individuals.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, of course, totally. And the great balance of the show, and we talked about it back with season 1 as well, is that you guys are really fun, interesting characters that have witty banter and everything, but you're dealing with serious situations, and you not only the performances, but the story itself pays proper respect to those serious situations and talks about serious things. And the balance is amazing. It makes me really interested in this Monday's episode involving a cult.
You know, we had to go there, right?
Well, it is Vancouver, so yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm not mentioning any names, of course, but it's a juicy story to tell. So yeah, we had to do, you know, one like that, and it's very juicy.
Oh my gosh!
Have you been invited to a cult before, Jewel?
You know what? I have not, and I'm offended.
You should be. Like,
well, yeah, you know,
you're like, I knew all those people.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was talking to my friend Catherine Isabel. I don't know if you guys know her. She's I just love her as a person, and I'm a fan.
She's a former Geek Hard guest of the year.
Really? She's just the best. I love her. Yeah. But we were talking about this, and she was like, "Why didn't they ask us?" And I said, "I don't know, Katie. I'm a little pissed." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a bit offended." And then we realized that maybe they realized we were too scary or something. Put them in their place immediately.
Yeah, you guys be like, I'm not buying this shit. No.
How come no one asked me to join your cult?
But in this particular episode coming up as well, you got to do a military crawl through the muck.
Yeah.
Well, was that a good day at work, or was that one of the days where you're like, oh, I can't wait till, like, let's try not and laugh on this take because I want to get the heck out of here?
Well, I learned a few lessons, you see, from this. I I I guess I was sort of bragging about getting up early in the morning and working out before going to work, right? I would say, "Oh yeah, I got up for my workout today, got my workout in." And the writers thought they were under the impression that this meant I was getting up to do rigorous, sweaty, I don't know, CrossFit kind of stuff when really I'm, drinking tea and doing Pilates. So they wrote this insane episode for me, assuming that I would be having a great time and would be totally game for it. And I was horrified. I was horrified reading it. I thought, did I upset Sarah who wrote this episode? Like, is she mad? Are you mad at me? And they had this big training day where they sent us out to learn archery, which actually was really fun. I liked the archery, but get us up on this big wire, I don't know how many feet up in the air, and walk across this wobbly sort of, thing from A to B, which I hated, and they said, they basically said, we'd love for you to give it a try, just so we know on the day when we shoot this sequence, if we need a stunt double or not. If you love it, then, we'll use you, or totally fine, we'll get the double. And me, being stubborn, I was like, okay, let me give it a go. So I went up there, and as soon as I got up there, I was like, I want the double. I want the double. I have nothing to prove. And she me back down. So like when it was okay to use the double, we did, and she's amazing and just so tough and wasn't afraid of anything. But there was a lot of it that I actually had to do. The mud crawl was, we did one take, thankfully. And I'm not acting. I mean, you can see it all play out on my face, just the questions I have and the regrets and, lessons learned, really.
And that's the reason why nobody asked you to be in the cult. They knew.
That's exactly it. God. Ding, 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 you guys. That was the light bulb moment for me.
On a show, like it is surprising to think about needing a stunt double on a show like this, because you're thinking, oh, it's lawyers, they're hanging out in rooms, it's not that, it's not like crazy dynasty, like 10 o'clock at night soap opera kind of craziness. It's you'd think, no, you don't need a stunt double, but then you go and have to do something like this.
I thought I was safe. Yes. I think I recall right when they had me flip over that giant tire. There's a big giant tire I have to pick up in a shot and flip over and then jump over a bunch of beams and run off into the wilderness. I think I recall screaming, I signed up for a law show. It was very hot. I was sweating and delirious, and I'm pretty sure that came out of my mouth.
Oh my God.
I said, they don't do this on Law and Order.
Yeah, but you'll notice after that, there's very few action shots of me doing anything. Actually, they just sort of piled on the court scenes, which right. I love doing. So yeah, that's you can see the change. It's a significant one.
There you go.
Yeah, like you've done, obviously you've over the years you've done science fiction, horror, like you've done different genres that would require that kind of
sure.
crazy athleticism. A law show, like I totally see you signing on the dotted line to do the show and be like going, oh, this is gonna be, I'm just gonna be wearing regular clothes, this is gonna be
memorizing lines, running around in a pencil skirt, easy peasy lemon squeezy. No. But even the sci-fi shows I've done, I've never really played the character who goes out and is the badass hero. I was always be careful, guys. I'll be right here. It was very rare. On Stargate, I think, there was some character development where they basically had scenes where, my character reluctantly becomes the hero in the episode. I had one teeny tiny fight scene that I was so proud of. I mean, I think it took 30 seconds to shoot and it's like 6 seconds long on air, but I was very proud of it. But other than that, I've just never played that person. And, now I'm in my 40s and I don't know about you guys, but you get hurt more.
Yeah.
I mean, I sleep wrong and I'm like, yep. Ow. So, I just know myself. I think I've become confident enough to know who I am. And the person I am is the person who will get hurt doing stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, we all have our strengths, and basically being the action hero is not one of them. Anytime someone's like, who would you play in the superhero movie? I'm like, who's the person who sits in the chair?
Yeah.
Who's the person who delegates and tells everybody
just on an earpiece telling people what to do. Exactly.
in my mind.
I like that you know your limits. That's, you know, like, because like I turn around and then you see something like the craziness that Tom Cruise does at 60, and I'm like, dude, I'm not remotely up there yet, and I'm already afraid of just going to bed sometimes, or like walking down the hallway. Like, you never know.
You never know. Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I think I went through lots of phases and lots of jobs in my life where I felt like I had something to prove, right? Where I was like, you got to give it a go, and you got to give it your best, and show them what you can do. But then I just realized that doing that usually leads to things like, oh, I don't know, unhappiness.
And also them getting you to do more, going like, whoa, they did this. Let's see if they'll do this.
Yeah. So, you know, I think I've just learned to play up my strengths and to be very vocal about my weaknesses and not be ashamed of it either. Right.
Well, and you're employing stunt people.
Yeah,
right?
Are amazing. And they like doing it. I mean, I did this episode of Quantum Leap. We had this insane sequence with an earthquake and a guy, you know, getting hit by a car and being thrown into a kiosk. And he was stoked, and he was like, you know, and they were about to roll, and he's like pumping himself up, and then he gets hit by the car and he goes flying, and they're like, would you mind doing it again? He's like, absolutely, I'd love to. You know, those are different people.
Takes a certain kind of person, definitely.
Yes, there's someone to do. There's something for everybody, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I'd be looking for the big comfy chair, but you know, some people like to be thrown into buildings. Hey, what are you gonna do?
And they're great at it. I mean, it's really impressive to watch, but yeah, it's just not ever been my cup of tea. Right?
Fair enough. That's understandable.
That episode of Quantum Leap, like, it's crazy with all the earthquake stuff and everything that's going on. I remember watching it, and I'm now that you're just mentioning it, it's like I'm thinking about all your other shows. It's like, was that the biggest, like, kind of crazy set to work on, like, you know, because of what was going on in the episode?
Yeah, there was a lot of moving parts. I know for Firefly and for the movie, for Serenity, we had a lot of stunts and a lot of amazing stuff going on all at once. You know, anytime there was one of those big fight scenes, it was all very for real, right? It was stunt people on wires, all going at once. They'd been rehearsing stuff for months. It was really exhilarating to kind of be a part of that, standing off to the side, saying, be careful. But Quantum Leap was cool. I mean, we shot downtown Vancouver. I grew up downtown Vancouver. So seeing it in that capacity was wild. There was all kinds of rigs and stuff set up to fall apart. And it was very impressive. And the fact that they reset it between every take, they would reset it. And then it would be earthquake time again. And we had hundreds of background performers falling. And, you know, it was wild.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
I love entertainment. I love that the level of detail, like what you're saying, like about resetting it to do it again. And then everything. It's one of the reasons I just love movies and television so much. It's just like, it's wild to think when you talk to somebody like yourself, hearing that, like, from you're seeing it, the technical side, and then and we're just seeing, like,
fine, right? Like, that's what's so cool about it, is that they have these little explosives that are going off, but everything is timed so precisely. So Ray, who's the number one on Quantum Leap, when we would run out of the bar, we would get it onto the street and sort of turn, and then we'd have to turn away at a specific time because there would be an explosive that went off behind us, and it would just be a huge black dust cloud. So in order to avoid that going into our eyes, we would have to be turned away. And I remember one take, it went off early. So we came out and Ray spun around and it went his face. It was like, God, oh, you okay? He's like, He's so good natured, the sweetest human ever. And he's like, I'm okay. You know, like, what can you do? Accidents happen, and it's all so precise, and usually goes off without a hitch, but sometimes there's a little hitch, and there's really not much you can do except reset and go again.
So you're planning on that in season 3, right? For Family Law, that's what you have, lots of explosions,
earthquakes, explosions, all that sort of stuff.
season 3 is just, I was like, listen, I'll give you emotional stuff. And they're like, great. So they just basically make me cry the whole
Okay.
time, which I'm totally fine with. It's very
Okay.
cathartic.
Oh man, well that just that kind of makes me sad. It's like, okay, because we're in season 2 now, and now I know that season 3 is just going to be a lot of you crying. It's
Season
like,
3 is
I
intense.
feel,
I'm
oh
not
yeah,
gonna lie. Yeah, it's intense. It's I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but
of course.
it's a beauty. I think it's our best season. But there are definitely some crazy moments in that one, particularly the finale, which we just shot, so it's fresh to me, and I just got to see it a first cut of it, and it's very sad.
Oh
I
geez,
hope it doesn't
okay.
end there. You know, if the show ends there, I don't know, we're all doomed.
Well, in order to ensure that that doesn't happen, people, you should be watching it
Absolutely.
Yes.
on Global and Stack TV here in Canada. And then, of course, when it comes back to the CW on July 7th, of course, Canadian viewers, you can catch the next episode this Monday. And that's the cult one. So it should be pretty exciting. Before we go, just one last thing I want to talk about, because I always find your Twitter very interesting.
Oh,
Your
thank you.
your child is always a very fun, like it's basically a fountain of comedy.
My
But
little mouthpiece, yeah.
but then also, I liked a recent tweet you talked about your cat about a month ago. It says, "I know my cat loves me because she picks the spot right by my head to lick her butthole at 6 a.m.
Yes,
That's love."
she's sort of perched above me here. Yes, that's what she does. That's how they show love, right? I don't know. That's what I was told.
That my cat, yeah, it's that, or like when they walk on you, they always present, like,
Yes.
here's my bum, take a look at this,
Wow, thank you so much. That
right?
keeps me so nice and humble. What time is it? 5 a.m.? Wonderful. Thank you.
It's nice that she wakes you up so that you can take part in, like, she's really
Right.
happy about this, so she wants you to join her in her experience. Totally.
Yes. Between her and my son, the way I get woken up every day is rather jarring. I actually had this conversation with him where, he comes in and goes, "Mom, get up, get up. Mom, can you open this for me? Hey, Mom, I want some bacon." Like, this is my first conversation of the day. And I said to him, "Hey, did you know that mom is you're the first person that I talk to in the morning? Did you know that? You're the first interaction I have. So what would you say if you came in and, gave me a really nice, gentle good morning?" And he goes, "Oh, brother."
But hey, he's just looking forward to the time when his voice drops and he gets to say shit like dad. So there
Yeah,
you go.
that's exactly right. That is one of the things he's looking forward to. Word.
Oh, well, Jewel, I want to thank you for coming back on the program. Of course, enjoying this season of Family Law, and I'm going to steel myself and prepare myself for all the crying that's coming in season 3.
Oh, good.
But you're welcome back on the show anytime, and we'd love to see your next projects. And thank you so much.
Thank you, you guys. Always such a pleasure.
All right, have yourself a great night.
Thanks,
You
Joel.
too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.